Welcome, 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 friends. Your pal Marshall here, and once again, welcome to another edition of the 3-Star Coffee Review, all powered by the Crossed Sabers Coffee Company. Today, we have a very special guest in studio. He's a veteran, and more importantly, he's paying us. I'm kidding. He is, but we love him for it. It is Jason Wise, the owner of Crossed Sabers Coffee Company. Jason, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for the invite.
Well,
glad to be here.
You invited yourself.
Well, okay.
I mean, let's just get that straight. But we are very excited to have you. Obviously, you are a veteran. You are the owners of the Crossed Sabers Coffee Company. We're very excited to have you in studio today for another edition of the 3-Star Coffee Review. Now, today we are going to be trying the Trooper Blend, which actually I have right here in the beautiful K-Cup, Calvary Cup box here. This is kind of what you would be getting at home if you ordered at crosssaberscoffee.com. So today with the Trooper Blend, I'm very excited to try it. I have actually held back. I have not drank this coffee. I wanted that real initial impression. I want to be able to tell you how I feel about it for the very first time. But before we jump into the coffee review, let's talk about the Crossed Sabers Coffee Company. The Crossed Sabers Coffee Company, it's been around for a little while, and this is a passion project for you. Let's get into the name. Why Crossed Sabers Coffee Company?
Well, so in the Army, I was a cavalry scout, and it's all about really traditions, pomp and circumstance, everything with the cavalry. So I love the name. It's all about branding. And after discussing with a lot of my veteran friends that I served with, we decided to try Crossed Sabers Coffee Company. It's simple, it rolls across the tongue, and it's easy to brand.
Yeah, 100%. And we actually have some hats in studio. You're wearing one right now.
Yes.
Can people buy these in the future? Are these going to become available for people to rep?
Yes, next week I'm hoping to get them live on the website.
Awesome. That's awesome. And we'll actually, you know what? We're going to give one away here at the end of the video. If you're the first person to watch this video on Facebook, and you're the first person that says, I want a hat, I will give you a hat. I'll mail it out to you. I don't care where you're at. We'll hook you up with a free Crossed Sabers Coffee Company hat. So there you go. Little fun little treat for everyone.
Good deal. They are PVC patches that are removable. You can interchange with any other morale patch you want.
If you remove it, you have to give the hat back to us. Sorry, that's just no. You don't tell them that part. Don't tell them that part. Well, perfect. Well, let's go ahead and jump into the coffee review.
All right, sounds good.
All right, let's do it. Let's jump into the 3-Star Coffee Review powered by Crossed Sabers Coffee Company. Today, we're trying the Crossed Sabers Coffee Company's Trooper Blend. Of course, the owner, the creator of Crossed Sabers Coffee Company, Jason Wise, is in studio with us today. So let's talk about this coffee in particular because we walked outside just a moment ago to brew it, and you looked at me and you're like, you're really going to like this coffee. So why is this one such a favorite of yours?
So first off, the name. In the cavalry, everybody's a trooper. So everyone back in the day playing Cowboys and Indians, and all that, they always wanted to be a cavalry trooper. So with this one, it's actually a cowboy blend. It's a blend of light and medium roasts.
Okay.
So
there's no horse in it.
No.
Okay.
No.
Thank God.
There's no horse, dirt, dust, dirt,
Right.
anything in that. So it combines a dark and a medium roast, and it has hints of cocoa, vanilla, caramel, however you want to.
I say caramel.
Okay, so
Yeah.
caramel
Is
notes,
it right? Okay.
depending on what part of the country you're from. But it just enhances everything on that first sip, and it is not a single origin; it's a blend.
Okay.
So that's why it's available in the Calvary cups, and also just available in the whole bean and ground 12-ounce bags. And love to hear what you think of the Trooper Blend.
Well, we're about to drink it together. Here is the 3-Star review. We always start off by getting kind of a sense of the aroma. So let's take a big old sniff of this. I'm getting some of that vanilla. I'm getting some of that just I don't know how to explain it best. And I drink coffee quite a bit. I guess it would be more of that medium body. It's not overpowering. It's not really underwhelming. It's a nice, strong presence, but it's not something that feels like it's going to kick me right in the pants.
Right. And I can get the cocoa and the vanilla together, and it just smells really, really robust.
Now, the best part of the 3-Star Coffee Review, powered by Crossed Sabers Coffee Company, is the taste. So let's get to sipping.
Okay.
And in case anyone's wondering, we're drinking this straight up because we're men. We don't put creamer in this. You kidding me? That is great. I think body is medium, but the finish and everything, which we'll get into in just a moment, is really nice. It really is. It's light. I don't feel like it coats my tongue. I don't feel like I'm going to have an overwhelming coffee breath where I have to feel, very self-conscious about this. I think this comes off really well.
Right. It's not bitter. So by blending the light and the dark, it keeps it a very medium roast. So it is just that perfect thing. If you're out on the frontier in the morning, want to jump on the horse, this is the thing this is the roast to brew, smell on a cold winter morning, whatever. It's a great roast.
I was talking to you off camera just a little while ago. I'm like, I'm going up to Tennessee for a holiday here in the next few weeks, and I'm like, I could see myself drinking this right there on the porch, right when I get up nice and early in the morning, trying to work off the hangover I probably did really well the night before. All right, well, let's get into the last star of our 3-star review of the Trooper Blend. Once again, brought to you by the Crossed Sabers Coffee Company. Let's talk about the finish. Let's take another drink, and let's talk about how this all goes down.
Okay.
I alluded to it earlier, but I think the finish is clean. It really is a clean finish. Once again, it doesn't overly coat your tongue. It's not something that you feel like your palate has changed with just one sip. I think this finish has a really easygoing just complexity to it.
It does. And you're never going to have to worry about having a stick of gum after this coffee because it's not going to linger. And that's the great thing about the fact that we roast it within 48 hours of shipping. It's the freshest coffee you're ever going to find on the market.
And that's one of the beauties of Crossed Sabers Coffee Company, because a lot of these people, I mean, that stuff's been sitting on the shelf for a while.
Right. It gets stale.
And they're sitting in a warehouse that probably isn't climate controlled, so it's like 1 billion degrees in there, and it's sort of gross, and you're just buying a product name as opposed to an actual product and the value that you actually show with the Crossed Sabers Coffee Company.
Right. This craft specialty grade coffee is incredibly fresh. As you can see, all the reviews on the website, everyone loves it.
Yeah. Yeah, it does really well. And, of course, CrossSabersCoffee.com is where you want to go to pick up any of your amazing brands of coffee. You got, what, like 8, I think, different varieties on the website?
There's 9 different varieties, but I've pulled 2 of the seasonal ones off because it's just nobody's going to buy Calvary Christmas in June.
What peppermint coffee? I'm saying maybe it's a nice little go around there if you want to change it up. All right, so with all that in mind, let's go ahead and wrap up the 3-star coffee review. Don't worry, we'll talk to Jason more after this about his service and how he got into coffee, of all things. It seems like a kind of a weird road, but we'll talk about that road. So let's wrap it up. What do you give the Trooper Blend on a scale of 3 stars?
Man, it's tough really to
You're grading your baby.
to grade my own coffee because I give them all 3 stars.
Yeah.
But this one definitely, because I am a medium roast drinker, this one is really my favorite. So this one I will have to give like a 2.99 because there's always room for improvement.
That's what I like. See, that's why I like you, Jason. This coffee for me, this hits all the right notes. Add creamer, add sugar, whatever, or drink it straight up like men do. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 2.95. I think this is one of the best coffees I've had in some time. And like I said, I drink coffee almost every single day. My doctor would probably hate for that knowledge, but I do. I love it. It's a passion.
It's water for me. I drink this over water all day long.
All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into who you are and talk about what you got going on. Obviously, the owner of the Crossed Sabers Coffee Company. I'm guessing that takes up a little bit of your time. But let's talk about how you got to the Crossed Sabers Coffee Company. Let's talk about your military service. You're a former veteran. Where did you serve? How long did you serve? And what got you to this point in the studio with me?
Okay, so I entered late in life. I enlisted at age 30.
Okay.
I had owned a trucking company prior to that, 10 years prior to that. Everything was going great until the economy crashed in 2008.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So at that point, I had always wanted to be in the military. I graduated high school in the mid-'90s. Nothing was going on. Really didn't care to join up at that point.
Right.
So I did the college thing. So after that, after the economy crashed, I decided, well, let's make a decision on this and let's do it. So I enlisted at 30. So in 2010, I went to Fort Hood, stationed at Fort Hood with 1st Cav Division for 3 years. Almost 4 actually, almost 4 years, and did one deployment to Iraq,
Okay.
and came back and spent some time at Fort Hood after that, doing some training and going through the schools, all that.
Right. And then you found yourself out of the military,
Mhm.
probably somewhere around there, and then you former trucking company owner, you were like, what am I going to do with my life? Oh yeah, I like coffee. So tell us how in a military service to owner of Crossed Sabers Coffee Company, how did that happen?
So during deployment, early on in the deployment, it was last year in Iraq. So early on in the deployment, we were getting a lot of bags of coffee. So we were drinking a ton of coffee and just talking with my fellow veterans there that, different roasts, different things, combining things, lots of cream, lots of sugar, less.
You were
Oh,
Frankensteining some coffees over there.
we were doing everything with the coffee over there because we had to stay up for 14 hours at a time on patrols and things like that.
Mhm.
But then towards the end of the deployment, it became nothing but just MRE bags of coffee,
Ugh.
which was pretty rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. So at that point, I just decided I had drank a lot of coffee in my life prior to this, and I'm always going to drink coffee. So I started just coming up with concepts,
Mhm.
thinking about names at that time. And then a few years go by, working, going to school, using my GI Bill benefits, everything like that. And then COVID hits.
Yeah.
So so COVID hits, and then the drop shipping hits, and drop shipping capabilities come out for coffee.
Mhm.
So it all became an e-commerce concept. Bounced all the coffee names off of all my veteran friends. We still talk. Actually, we do Zoom podcasts every Friday night.
Perfect.
And they helped me design some of these names, come up with the cool names and descriptions, and I launched last year in 2022.
That's awesome. And now you're here in Savannah, Georgia, one of the biggest military towns here on the Eastern Seaboard. All right, so we kind of skipped over an important period there, how you got out of the military. So let's talk about that, because that was obviously a transformational time for you. You ate really bad food, MREs. You drank really bad coffee, MREs. And my brother brought some MREs home for me to try from his deployments. They are not great, I think, is the best and kindest thing you say about an MRE, especially probably when it comes to both coffee and food side. So let's talk about that in between area. How did you get out of the military?
Okay, so in 2012,
Mhm.
after we got back from Iraq, 2012, I went to some schools, NCO school and all that. And right after the NCO school, I graduated. Like 3 days, I think, afterwards, I was run over by a car on Fort Hood.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Did you not look both ways, or
I was in a parking lot.
you were in a parking lot?
I was wearing my road guard belt. We had just finished morning PT.
Okay.
I was walking back to my truck to go back and change, to go home and change, and someone came around the corner, not paying attention, hit me with the left front quarter panel and dragged me under their car. So.
Oh my God, were you dragged a ways before
No,
they noticed,
no,
or
just
okay?
pulled under the car and ran over.
So how was that?
Guy said I felt like a speed bump. So.
But he noticed.
He did.
He sort of
He
noticed.
stopped.
Right?
He was a medic in our unit.
If I would get
So-
run over by anyone, I would hope it to be a medic.
So I tore my left ACL and MCL and
Oh.
broke my right foot and right ankle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, ouch.
It was a year's worth of physical therapy, surgery, all that.
Right.
Yeah.
And is that, I'm guessing the military kind of covered that cost, being that happened on their property?
No,
Hopefully?
his insurance agent did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his insurance company did. Yeah,
So,
because it was a third-party accident. So
yeah.
it was rough. So 2013 was all surgery and physical therapy.
And now you feel like probably a former NFL player.
Yeah, and what's funny is I've torn that ACL twice since.
Sick brag. All right. Nice.
So the last surgery was the best, though, I think. So
Okay.
and
Well, congrats to your hopeful third ACL tear and surgery. I hope that one's your
I know.
best. Yeah.
it was.
Keep
it was
getting
my
better.
best.
Keep raising the bar, Jason.
Hey, we do what we need to do. But that surgeon said the bolts that were in there or the screws were way too big. He said they were like deck screws. And thanks,
What?
Army. Thanks, Army. Yeah.
They actually probably put deck screws in there. Yeah, they had some budget cuts. That's crazy. All right, so that kind of fills that gap between into your military service, quite literally, and then up to when you hit the Crossed Sabers Coffee Company, when you kind of started putting that together.
Yeah.
All right, Jason, while we got you in studio, I do want to ask about the Whiskey Barrel Coffee, which I think we're going to do on a future episode of the 3-Star Coffee Review, but the Whiskey Barrel Dark Roast Coffee. It's a single origin blend. So once again, talk to me like a 5-year-old. What does that mean?
So single origin means it comes from one farm. It's farm direct, straight to the roaster, and it is the only bean used in that coffee.
Okay, and did you get drunk and we're like, hey, throw some coffee just to those whiskey barrels over there? Like, how did that idea come along?
Pour the little flask in the whiskey,
yeah,
or a full flask of whiskey in the coffee. No, so it was available, and I was like, I got to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Got to offer this one up because everybody likes whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is it's roasted. The beans are roasted over 30-day period in used whiskey barrels. So the little notes and hints of the whiskey take the bitterness out of the coffee.
What?
Yeah. And you can always add just a little extra whiskey. If you
Yeah, I mean, a little bit.
Yeah.
Who says how much is a little bit? I'm not for sure, but that sounds incredible. I have to drink this coffee as soon as possible, guys. But so you have obviously a bunch of different coffees, once again, available at CrossSabersCoffee.com. You have Jody's Blend, you have the Whiskey Barrel. What else are we missing here? What else should people try even if they're a first-time buyer, the first time they ever heard of Crossed Sabers Coffee Company?
Okay.
You know, we talked about maybe picking up the Cavalry Charge, the Jody's Blend. What about something like Morning PT?
So Morning PT is a great blend. It is a cold brew, and it is specifically roasted to be a cold brew.
Okay.
And I called it Morning PT because, hey, in the summertime when you get up, you do your Morning PT. You don't want to drink straight hot coffee.
No, probably not.
Yeah, no. So what a lot of people do is they'll roast that in the evening or the morning before, and they'll throw it in the fridge. And then in the next morning, they can blend it with creamer, anything else like that, and ice.
Yep.
And it's a perfect blend on the hot summer day.
My wife hates hot coffee, which like blows my mind. I'm like, coffee is supposed to be hot. But yes, there are some coffees that are supposed to be iced.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my wife loves those. So I'm going to have to grab some of that just so she could try it out one morning.
Yeah, it's great as the cold brew. There are a lot of reviews on there, and the people love it.
Perfect. So we need all of our military friends who are watching this video to make sure you're hitting up Crossed Sabers Coffee Company, buying their coffee, because once again, it is ground up, sent to you within 48 hours. Boom, you got it on your doorstep. It is the freshest coffee you can get.
Yes, and proceeds from every bag, a percentage of the proceeds go towards veteran serving organizations, because every veteran out there needs a resource, whether it's a social life resource or a financial aid assistance resource, or even just a activity like hunting, fishing, things. There are organizations out there that offer those resources for veterans. So a percentage of every bag goes back to a veteran serving organization.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Well, before you take off, I know you're a busy man. You got Crossed Sabers Coffee Company. You got bags to fill and ship out. What is your favorite coffee? Putting you on the spot. Trooper Blend, we talked about it. It's an incredible coffee. But is there a coffee that you should say, hey, guys, check this one out? I think it's the best thing that I do.
I will say, I'll say there's two.
Okay, that's fine.
Cavalry Charge is my favorite because it's our espresso blend. And if you like a lot of caffeine.
Yes, I do.
That is the blend to have.
Okay.
It is 6 beans combined and roasted and ground into one roast.
Okay.
So the Cavalry Charge is the one. And the other one is the Jody's Blend. It's a decaf. But I love it because of the flavor. It's a Swiss water process to get the decaf.
That sounds very expensive.
But it's the name. Everybody's like, oh, what's Jody? Everyone in the military knows Jody is someone who steals your girlfriend while you're deployed.
Okay, yep.
So when you can't have the original, have decaf.
There you go. I love that. I love that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging with me and Jason, the owner of the Crossed Sabers Coffee Company today. And this wraps up the 3-Star Coffee Review, all powered by the Crossed Sabers Coffee Company. Make sure to follow the Crossed Saber Coffee Company at Crossed Sabers Coffee on both Facebook and Instagram. Anything else I'm missing? People should follow you and find you. You said you did a podcast.
Yes.
Every Friday, you said?
Every Friday.
Where can people find that?
So you can find the Cavalry Crew on Rumble.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Make sure to check out their live podcast every single Friday. You can also follow me and the radio station on the socials at John Marshall 8 and at Rock 1061. And once again, if you want some Crossed Sabers Coffee Company, if we haven't sold you well enough at this point, what's wrong with you? Go check them out. Go buy some coffee. It will change your life, especially in the mornings. Hit them up, CrossSabersCoffee.com. Once again, CrossSabersCoffee.com. We're going to put a link, I'm sure, somewhere around. Lex, right? We're going to put a link here. Okay. Perfect, man. We did so good today. I'm really proud of us. All right. So once again, thank you for joining the 3-Star Coffee Review. And hey, how about this? A big round of applause for our guest today, Jason Wise of Crossed Sabers Coffee Company. Woo!